Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. We got a chance to be together as a team and celebrate and just be together. There was a lot of stuff going on. Some spades games in one corner, some Uno in the other corner. Somebody was, there's a group of guys playing chess, some guys playing Connect Four, a group of guys playing categories. We had football game on, we had basketball games on, and apparently we ate too much food because we started like that. We had a good time yesterday, but I thought the one thing with Lafayette is, if you've looked, they've really challenged everybody they've played early in the game. And Miami, St. John's, St. Joe's, each halftime has been close. Sometimes the second half has been close. And I didn't think we started particularly well. Not everybody. I didn't think all five guys were locked in the way that we normally are. And you can tell that early on, especially when one guy's like getting every rebound when they shoot it or miss it. I thought we responded well at the end of the first half, and then the start of the second half, we were really guarding. We were moving the ball. We were playing the right way, and kind of opened things up from there. So pleased with our effort, and now we got to keep getting better because we got a good stretch of games coming up that'll challenge us.
John.
Micah, it looked like you lit the team up pretty good in that huddle down 19-12. What was your message in that moment? And, was it just the sluggishness that you were seeing out of the gate?
Yeah, that was the main point. You can't give up one guy at 5 offensive rebounds in like the first 9 minutes of the game or something. Like that just shows we weren't where we needed to be. But we also weren't solid defensively. And I thought we gambled a couple times and fouled them, right? And they're getting free throws. Now, Leo O'Boyle hasn't seen the ball go through the net yet. But we foul him on the post-up. Now he gets free throws. Now he's feeling good about yourself, right? Don't let that be his first points. I didn't think we were solid. If we were solid and they're scoring, I got it. But I didn't think we were solid. And then we weren't boxing out defensively. So, I like to save my timeouts so we can try and get 2 for 1s and try and score at the end of the clock, things like that in the first half. But sometimes it's needed to call it early to refocus. But I thought we played well after that.
Micah, you made significant substitutions early. Were you sending a message, or were you just trying to give guys a little bit of a break after playing so much ball in the last few days?
Yeah, I wanted to, I didn't think we were sharp, and then we it went under 16. It got to 14, right? So it got us out of our normal kind of timing of when we sub, how I wanted to do it. Sometimes I plan those out. I didn't plan out 4 guys going in. The clock kind of dictated that in terms of who we wanted to get in so we could stay fresh. I thought we were the deeper team, and usually when we're playing pretty good, we are the deeper team. But I didn't. Some of the guys that went in weren't locked in at the start either. So you just kind of juggle it until you can find the right group and then ride that group out.
Coach, I think one thing we've back here.
Sorry.
You're good. I think the one thing we've seen here early season is this struggles a little bit in the paint, both offensively and defensively. How much do you think that is schematic and things that you need to adjust to, or just having different guys this year that just don't play like John O'Hara played last year?
Yeah, it's just different. I want those guys to be who they are. Whether it's scoring in the paint or not scoring in the paint. I think the more people guard our threes, the more we can score in the paint off drives. I would love to get more free throws, but apparently our shot fakes aren't working. But we were going to continue to attack the paint off the drive. I think Seth got in there and got some buckets, and Pickett got a couple layups and some other things. But defensively, I still like where we are, right? They shot 31% for the game. We're guarding. We're getting people to take the shots we want them to take, which is, they lead the country in the amount of threes. They shot 28, but they shot a bunch late too. and they made a bunch late. Like I thought that 9, you know, was probably closer to 6. You know, if we're really counting when kind of garbage time started in the game. So I thought we did a really good job. Like we're going to continue to work on that, continue to work on people and how they're going to try and attack us and try and score in the post. And you know, I know Clemson's got some guys that can score down there. They're good players. So you know, that'd continue to be a challenge for us. There's also some things we haven't showed yet that you know we'll get back to, or things we have and then we haven't done in a while. So try and keep people off balance with what you're doing defensively.
Nate?
A couple of weeks ago, that model was saying that your offense was so good that they weren't going to crash glass. Is that evolving? Like, I know it's what you guys do, but also was what Lafayette was doing a little bit different in terms of staying in.
Yeah, they were doing some different stuff. Now Rivera was obviously crashing, but I think a lot of that had to do with us. I didn't think we did a good job of staying in the play today. Right, we challenged a bunch of threes because they shoot a bunch of threes, but we challenged threes and then we took off running to get down the court. Early in the year, we were all boxing out. We were in the paint. When we got the rebound, then we ran, then we sprinted, then we flew down the court. Today, our guys will see it tomorrow. We challenged shots and we stayed at half court, right? Long shots, long rebounds. That's what they were getting. They were getting a lot of those because we stayed near half court. I think people are trying to adjust, like, because we're scoring in transition. Like when we take off, you got so many guys that can shoot it. You got guys sprinting that to the rim. Like there's clips that I showed our guys the other day of just unselfish clips of like Caleb or Keba sprinting after boxing out and the rebound goes. Now they're sprinting and rim running, and it's forcing people in because they're ahead of their man, which is drawing in somebody from the corner, which is getting the open corner kick out or a trail 3 or something like that. So that's who we want to be. I talk about being sprinters both ways, and that's what we've done early on. And it you know, you got to think about it, right? How many guys you send to the glass? Because if we get it, we're getting a 3 on the other end. We might not make it, but we're getting 1 if you're not back and set.
I remember I watched the documentary Kobe doing work, and he said that, you know, at the higher levels of basketball, it's not really about trying to surprise somebody with what you're doing. It's just you execute better than the other team. When you're a team that does a lot of one thing, like shooting the 3 and getting those guys open and everybody knows that you're going to do it, do you think it's more about a diversity of sets that get them into those positions, or is it more of just being really sharp with principles, or is it really just both?
I think it's a little bit of both. Because they get them in different ways. Like they'll get them from, like we were just talking about, transition. Like we get a lot of 3s in transition. We get a lot of 3s from post-ups now, right? If Pickett's in the post, now people are over helping, he's kicking it out. We get 3s out of pick and rolls. So we're setting pick and roll. We got a big guy rolling the rim. They tag. We're getting kick out 3s in that way. So we get them in so many different ways. Now it's on us to recognize what they're doing and then attack it to get the same shots. I think that's where kind of the basketball IQ of our team is starting to come out. We worked on, you know, something in shoot around for 5 minutes today, and we still didn't get to it very much, but I wanted to introduce it because people start to guard us in different ways. So we wanted to work on a couple different things. We did one for 5 minutes, we did the other for 5 minutes. We went to A more instead of B today, but it gives us 2 different ways to attack a defense and get the same result. And I think that, you know, people know, like, you might know, like, hey, you can't guard Andrew Funk or you can't leave Andrew Funk, but like, I'm going to start the second half. I'm going to run something for him and get him a 3, right? Even though you know it's coming, still can't guard it. And that's, like, having variations to get those guys shots, having variations to do things. I think that's what keeps people off balance.
Last question.
Micah, I know you've said in the past you care about more who's closing games than starting games, I believe. But Keba makes a second start. How do you think he's handling being in the starting lineup now? Because, you know, for all intents and purposes, a kid, that can be, you know, brighter lights and can put a little more shine on it, make it a little more difficult.
Yeah, he's fine. He's not a kind of glamorous kind of guy. Like, he's a worker. He's just a worker. Like sometimes you don't know what planet Kevin's on. And like he might be starting on Earth, but he's hanging out in Mars somewhere. But he's an awesome kid, and he works really hard, and I don't think it affects him one way or the other, like based on how they've played. So he started against Colorado State because they started the kid Moores, who was 6'10", scored around the basket, played great against South Carolina. The kid they brought off the bench, Cartier, shot more threes, was more off the dribble, everything else. It worked out for us to start Keba because he was a bigger presence in the paint. And now Caleb's able to guard the other guy a lot better. Then we turn around to this game, same exact thing. Vanderban starts, like he's not a strong post player, but he's somebody we didn't have to switch. Whereas now when they moved Jenkins to the 5, that would have been a hard matchup for Keba to sub in and guard him, an older guy that picks and pops more. Now Keba's on the perimeter a lot more. So the matchups have kind of dictated how we've started, how we've played. We can continue to be flexible. Like I'm not married to anything. You guys know that, except my wife. I'm not married to one way of starting or one way of playing. We're going to do what's best for us and what helps us win the next game. And so I haven't started watching Clemson, but like if it dictates that Caleb starts, and Caleb's starting, and Keba will come off the bench, and we'll just keep changing until we find the right matchup. Right? They don't care. They don't care. They want to win, and that's all I want. I want those guys to win, and I want them to play good and play well, right? Him starting, but him playing against some dude that's strictly on the perimeter might not look good for him, and it might crush his confidence if it doesn't work out. So confidence is a big thing, so I want to continue to help him be confident, play confident, and I want our team to win.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Micah.